What's up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with a very awesome video. I wanted to dedicate a video to Harpie Lady and the cards in the Harpie archetype. So there are no other cards from other variations of this game. There are no outside sources. No, this is a full video on Harpie Lady and the cards that follow the Harpie archetype, if I haven't repeated myself twice. So I wanted to go down through memory lane with each of them. I wanted to go down through explanations, things that I've heard, little tips and tricks and trivia, and all of that with the Harpie Ladies. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video because this is one of the very special videos I want to make at the time of my birthday and at the time of this recording. So I hope you guys enjoy it because I'm going to enjoy doing this as well. So we're going to start off with the main lady herself, Harpie Lady. Level 4, Winged Beast, 1300 attack, 1400 defense. A human-shaped animal with wings is beautiful to watch, but deadly in battle. Harpie Lady has been in this game thanks to the main story and main series due to Mai Kujaku, my Valentine in her English translated name, as the player of Harpie Ladies. My deck strategy for the most part is to summon as many Harpie Ladies as you possibly can, take control of the board, and then attack for game. Harpies have been around since the early 2000s and even earlier on in Japan, thanks to their adorations of it. I believe Harpies weren't really introduced till the game became fully card gamed, and a lot of it did come from the manga and a large portion of things that happened during the original series, because Harpies have been here since the second pack of the game, and that's Metal Raiders. As you can tell, there has been some changes to Harpie Lady through time and space. One of the biggest changes is the censorship. In the beginning of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami did not own Yu-Gi-Oh at the time. It was actually part of Bandai, which I believe either sold it or was sold it and bought out by Konami and Upper Deck. And then by the time the whole legal situation with Upper Deck, they split apart, and Konami now has full control over Yu-Gi-Oh. One of the big things was the censorship and changes, because the original Harpie Lady did reveal her breast and her cleavage, as well as the newer, is more so the updated art, just centering the cleavage, the belly button, and the breasts that were on Harpie Lady. It does fit into the mythos of harpies because, well, harpies were human-shaped women with bird appendages, wings, and talons, and ripped their victims to shreds. So, yeah, that's Harpie Lady in that case of nutshell. I'm going to begin continuing the part of the beginning era with two of Harpie's most signature cards, Elegant Egotist and Harpie Lady Sisters. Harpie Sisters, for some trivia, are the combined total attack and defense of a Harpie Lady who have been cut in half in terms of attack and defense. So 700 and I believe 650, and then multiply it by 3. So that would be 2100 defense and 1950 attack. Harpie Lady Sisters and Elegant Egotist go hand in hand in combination. The beginning of the game, honestly, did exclude Harpie Sisters from being summoned outside of the effects of Elegant Egotist. As the game did progress, there were changes in terms of her card text, the quote problem-solving text, to now at a point where it does state they must first be summoned by Elegant Egotist, and then they can be summoned by other methods. I do think that the method in quotes is changed if the Harpie Lady Sisters are returned to the deck. So if you can't call, reborn, and stuff like that if they're sent to the graveyard through another means, if they were not summoned properly by Elegant Egotist, which happens to summon as many either your option of Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters when you control a Harpie Lady. When the Harpie Lady is on the field, I was going to say, if a Harpie Lady is on the field. That is Elegant Egotist in the first part of the Harpie army. Let's go on to the next one, and we have to talk about Sky Scout. Originally known as Harpie's brother, due to word translation errors, he actually was named Harpie's brother, but he has nothing to do with the archetype, unfortunately. Which he would have been a great addition because he would be like the overprotective brother, and would tremendously help out a lot. Like if he was really treated as a Harpie card, there'd be a lot of things you can summon him off of Harpie Chandler. You can use Elegant Egotist on him to summon Harpie Sisters, or variations of Harpie Lady. Hysteric Party, if he was treated as Harpie Lady while in the field in the graveyard. So there'd be a lot of things to consider with uh, Sky Scouts, if he did follow through. But unfortunately in Japan, he didn't even say the same kanjis as uh, the Harpies themselves, so it was pronounced that, yeah, they had to change it back to a name that was not similar to Harpy at all. He's actually named Birdman in the Japanese orientation of the game. So in the OCG, he's called Sky Scout. Well, he's called Sky Scout in the TCG, but in the OCG, he's called Birdman because he's not a Harpy. He's just a bird shaped, um, in such with wings and talons and stuff like that. Next, we're going to go on to a Harpy monster, and that's the ever faithful servant of Harpie Lady, Harpie's Pet Dragon. Harpie's Pet Dragon, well, in the beginning, wasn't too much of an issue because at that time you had enough stuff to really summon a dragon and then be okay with it being on the board and then just doing a lot of stuff. Nowadays, you practically just use it for rank 7 play to summon your rank 7 monsters with Chandler and just be about happy with it as there. Harpie Pet Dragon really doesn't do much. He doesn't have beefed up, juiced up effects. She's just a basic monster that gains attack and defense for each Harpie Lady on the field. So it wasn't too much bad about him. The release of Harpie's Pet Dragon actually came from the first of the PlayStation video games, which was Forbidden Memories, which hold Harpie's Pet Dragon, a Red Eyes Metal Dragon, and a Metalmorph. So next, Harpie's Feather Duster. Yes, we're going to talk about Feather Duster in one of the GBA exclusive cards, because at that time, a lot of the video games included exclusive cards. Most of them did get reprinted or had different variations of forms. But this is actually the tournament pack variation of Harpie's Feather Duster. This is the one that My Valentine uses in the show. Well, the picture art is. Where it is sweeping away a house of adhesive tape, which ensues, of course, it destroys all sorts and traps on your opponent's side of the field. And Harpie's Feather Duster, unfortunately, is not legal in TCG. Fingers crossed if it comes in the next list or two. But it is still one of the most powerful spell cards in the game because of its massive backer removal. Ironically enough, the OCG has it. It's not too big of a threat, but I doubt it'll ever go to multiples just because of how abusive it is with a lot of the Harpie cards that are currently in the format. Next is Birdface, and we're actually entering into the second era of cards. And this is where a lot of the Harpie stuff tended to grow. And we got a lot of exclusive cards from it. So we're going to start off with Birdface. He's pretty much just a search for your Harpie Lady and add it to your hand. He didn't search for Harpie Sisters because, you know, they have Harpie Lady in their name. He basically just helped you search for any monster treated as Harpie Lady while on the field, in the graveyard, and in the deck. In the hand, and in the banish. So pretty much if your name was stated as Harpie Lady, he could get you, or she. I'm not really sure what Birdface is because there's no indication of Birdface because, well, Birdface face doesn't have much of an indication to it, which is weird, but true. Next, we're going to go to Cyber Harpie Lady. Cyber Harpie Lady was actually the first promotional card for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series in terms of sneak peeks. She was the first sneak peek promo, and what's even funnier about her is she treats herself as Harpie Lady no matter where she is. That's hand, deck, field, graveyard. So that did come up with the ruling change to state that if you are that monster, you can only run 3 of that card unless you were limited, banned, or semi-limited. So, with that attitude, a lot of other Harpie cards did have to get printed to try to help this, but unfortunately, it really didn't until later on. Now, in case you wanted some favorite text on Cyber Harpie Lady is a Harpie Lady who's enhanced with Cyber Shield, the equipped spell. Um, for a drop of 100 defense, you gain a boost of 500 attack. Unlike the actual card, which just amplifies the attack of Harpie Lady or Sisters by 500 points. We didn't see a massive print of this till Storm of Ragnarok, which is ironically funny because no one actually knew this, but in the Americas, this card wasn't printed. It was like, it took it a minute to get printed. It took it almost 10 years to get printed, but it's printed. Now, Cyber Shield equips to only Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady Sisters. This does include all those monsters that are Cheers, Harpie Lady, Water in the Field, and Graveyard. But unfortunately, you can't search for it with Hysteric Sign, because it's not Cheers Harpie card. So you'd have to draw into it, and then you have to pray that you don't, off it, or off your support, or off a lot of other cards. Because that will tend to happen with the field spell, and don't worry, I'm going to get to that shortly. But yeah, that is Cyber Harpie Lady. And now I'm going to cut back to Harpie Lady Sisters because we're going to talk about the individual Harpie cards. Harpie Lady 1, 2, 3, and, yeah, Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3. These are each Harpie Ladies that are on the Harpie Lady Sisters card. They don't have Cyber Shield, the equipped spell attached to them, so they're not considered Cyber Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3. But they do have their own variations of effects. Harpie Lady 1 gives all wind monsters 300 additional attack. Harpie Lady 2 negates the effect of monsters who she destroys by battle that have a flip effect. And Harpie Lady 3, if she's involved in battle, win or lose, the monster that attacked her cannot attack for the next 2 turns. So it was a slowdown card, a negate card, and a power boost. All in 3 separate cards, which unfortunately did count to the whole. These monsters are treated as Harpie Lady while on the field, in the deck. They're like Harpie Lady everywhere. Even in the text, which you see here, it says, this card's name is always treated as Harpie Lady. So you can truly roll and abuse having multiples like 3 Cyber Harpies and a Harpie Lady 1 or stuff like that. Because the game rules do not allow it. And it would honestly be really broken if that was the case for all these Harpies. You probably actually see Harpie Lady 2 be played a lot more just because of the fact she negates flip effects, which is destroys those monsters. Now, in tradition, we are going to talk about Triangular Sassity Spark. This is an exclusive, one of the few exclusive spell traps for Harpies. This is the attack card, actually, for Harpie Lady Sisters. It's not called Exterminator Attack, which was the dumbest thing I could have ever heard being translated. But yes, this was one of the many attack cards of monsters that were printed. Similar to Yugi's Dark Magician and his Thousand Knives. I want to say Red Eyes in his Inferno Fire Blast, and Blue Eyes with his Burst Stream of Destruction. Harpies got Triangular Sassity Spark. It was a spell that if a Harpie Lady Sisters was on the field, your opponent cannot activate trap cards the turn this card was activated, and cannot trigger trap cards to the end of the turn. So you can really retaliate with anything unless it was like a spell. And at that point, Harpies, thanks to their field spell, were able to really just abuse control in the control aspect. Now, as we move on from Harpies, we're going to move on back to the dragons, and we're going to talk about Harpie's pet baby dragon and Harpie Girl. These are 2 more additional cards that came to the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Unfortunately, not in the most best ways when they first started coming to the game. Harpie Girl is a Harpie monster, but she's not treated as Harpie Lady anywhere. She's just a Harpie chick. But Harpie's pet baby dragon fixes that immediately with the 3 effects that he accumulates for the number of Harpie cards you control. So, say for instance, you control 1 Harpie, like this Harpie Girl. Harpie's pet baby dragon becomes the attack target. If you control 2 or more Harpie cards, Harpie's pet baby dragon's original attack and defense. Oh, excuse me. Original attack and defense will double. He'll be 2,400 attack and 1,200 defense. And the kicker is, if you control 3 or more Harpie cards, you can target 1 card in the field and destroy it. For a lot of people, that would be great things on Harpie's pet dragon, but yeah, when you're chibified, you kind of get more of your abilities than your predecessor, which sucks. Because I think those would be great additions to Harpie's Pet Dragon, and a lot of the things Harpie's Pet Dragon returns even to now with the things it does for the game. It was a very defensive card. It can even be offensive. So a lot of people didn't play it around the time. Well, a lot of people stopped really playing it around the time of the release of Chandler and stuff, and just going full aggro with the Harpie Lady Winged Beast instead of the um, onslaught of the dragons. I think the only dragons that do probably matter in the deck itself are running Harpie's Pet Dragon and Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, which unfortunately leaves the little guy out. But in exchange, I mean, he did have a lot of things going for him. He had a lot of potential and a lot of utility. Just a lot of things just unfortunately happened for Pet Baby Dragon that a lot of people just, well, leave him out. It's just sad to say. Harpie Girl, you got the bad end of the stick because you were a level 2 Winged Beast. And you're not even treated as Harpie Lady. Like, if you were treated as Harpie Lady, honestly, you would have so much more use than either a cheap discard for Harpie Chandler, a cheap summon for Harpie Chandler, or just easy support fodder for Pet Baby Dragon. Like, that's pretty much it about her. So let's move on to the last three cards. We're going to move on to Harpie Queen and Harpie's Hunting Ground. Harpie's Hunting Ground actually came out before Harpie Queen, and right around the time we got the Harpie Ladies 1, 2, and 3. But I wanted to put these two together because, well, Harpie Queen searches for Harpie's Hunting Ground, the first and the only field spell that Harpies have. All winged beasts gain 200 additional attack, and when anyone normal summons or special summons a Harpie Lady or sisters, the conductor of the normal or special summon targets a solid trap on the field and destroys it. So it was a lot of changes for Harpie's Hunting Ground because a lot of the players between what was it? Structure Deck 7 Lord of the Storm, or Structure Deck 9 Lord of the Storm, or was it 9? I think it was either 10 or 11. I forget which Structure Deck Lord of the Storm was. But between Lord of the Storm Structure Deck and the updates to the Harpie cards in both Joey's World and Astro Pack 2, a lot of people didn't know the whole exact ruling on Harpie's Hunting Ground, except for like the OCG, because people actually looked up stuff at that time. When cell phones actually got useful and could look up a lot of things more than what they shouldn't. Harpie's Hunting Ground and Harpie's Hunting Ground did have a changing in correction and ruling so that people did not have to argue over when the original text of it saying when a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is normal special summon, target one card on the field and destroy, or select one card on the field and destroy it. Which it didn't point to if it said how many of the Harpies were summoned. Just when Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady Sisters is normal special summon. Um, so it was a lot of correction on the card, thank God. And it still made a lot of people play Harpie Ladies in Hunting Ground even to this day. And Harpie Queen was the first Harpie Lady card to be treated as Harpie Lady while she was on the field in the graveyard. And in addition to that, she was our 19 beater. She searched for Harpie's Hunting Ground, and she was able to use Elegant Egotis on herself to summon sisters, which is still relatively popular at the time still of her release, because they were your 1950 attacker, and they were easy special summon. You had Egotis to follow up with it, and of course you have the next card to really follow up. In case you didn't want to play a full set of Cyber Harpie, maybe you want to play Harpie Lady 1, 2, and the Cyber Harpie, or whatever variation Harpie Lady you could play, because you were playing Hysteric Party, which came out in Lord of the Storm Structure Deck. And the only time it was strange was this was the first time a Harpie exclusive card was fitted into a structure deck. And it's practically the only structure deck. A lot of people consider it to be the Harpie structure deck because it had 8 tons of Harpie support in it. You had Harpie Lady 1, 2, 3. You had 2 copies of Harpie Sisters, 2 copies of Elegant Egotis, Hysteric Party, which is their signature trap card, and a lot of just what Harpie's hunting around their field spell, and then cards to support the deck itself. Now, for me, and even reprints of Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon were in there, and Harpie Girl. So you had a whole ton of array of stuff to defend this deck. But with Hysteric Party, it's discard one card, just summon as many Harpie Ladies from your graveyard as possible. So the whole issue between Hysteric Party and Harpie's Hunting Ground was just the correction and wording of the original uh, Harpie's Hunting Ground, which said, when Harpie Lady or sisters is no more special summon, select one spell or trap on the field and destroy it. I don't understand how people got that incorrect in terms of ruling that it was more than one Harpie Lady. Um, it wasn't considering that it was one Harpie Lady, it's just when the sisters or the Harpie Lady was summoned. Kind of similar to how Rescue Cat is worded, where Rescue Cat summons two monsters on the field with the same name, or Rescue Rabbit with two monsters with the same name, and you can balance them both of them because they're summoned simultaneously, which is what Hysteric Party is, a simultaneous summon. Not a summon of one monster at a time. They're all coming out on the field, just that they're coming out through one specific trap. Thank God for the updates and corrections on this, because it hurts to even explain it as if I was explaining it to someone new who was playing against deck. Now we're going on to the modern era of Harpies, and we're going on to pretty much the current status of the game. We were introduced to Harpie Chandler, the next Harpie Lady who was treated as Harpie Lady while she was on the field in her graveyard, but had the ability to discard discard any Harpie card, spell, trap, monster, and summon a Harpie monster from your deck. Harpie Chandler came on Lord of the Storm, which is pretty much towards the second half of the Exceed era. And this is where a lot of the things for Harpie started to boost up. We had a ton of reprints, we had a ton of new support cards, and you couldn't get any much better with a support card like Harpie Chandler. She was able to summon all your Harpies to the field except for Harpie Lady Sisters. Sorry, sisters. You just didn't make it that far. Just a little. Um, but the bright side of this is it made Harpie's Pet Dragon more playable. And it made a lot of the rank 7 cards not only go up, but it made Harpie's Pet Dragon go up. Which didn't suit its reprint in Joey's world because it was a signature card of Miss Valentine. And it was a signature, it became a really big ploy for Harpies in terms of a lot of the plays that it ended up being able to use. She had an inverse of her Harpie, of the original Harpie Lady, as her attack is 1400, but her defense is 1300. So that's a little food for thought. We're going to move Harpie Chandler over because next we're going to talk about Hysteric Sign, one of the most broken spells for Harpies, and one of the most tactical spells for Harpies. When this card is activated, you can add Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand, so you can salvage or search for one of Harpie's most massive summon spells. Then, during the end phase in which this card is sent from hand or field to the graveyard, out of the 3 cards with Harpie in its name that are different from each other in name, from your deck to your hand. So it was not only able to add Egotist, but during a turn, it could be destroyed and sent to the graveyard from hand or field, and add up to 3 Harpie cards with different names to your hand, so you can replenish your hand. Unfortunately, you cannot do both effects during the same turn you activate the card. So if you decided to wanted to search for Sign, you can't activate Sign and then add Ego. Unfortunately, it would override one, and you'd have to choose if you wanted to search or if you wanted to destroy. And I think what gets priority is the fact that it searches, even though it was sent to the graveyard, which is a sad face. Or it could be vice versa. I'm not sure because I'm smart and played safe, cannot do both or attempt both. Next, we have Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, the first Exceed and the only Exceed monster Harpies have. You need 3 wind monsters to summon it that are level 4. While this card has material, Harpie monsters cannot be selected as attack targets or by card effects. So it pretty much made all of your Harpie monsters immune to being involved in battle, and also made them immune to being destroyed by being targeted by card effects. So no Veilers, no other crazy shenanigans that would target. And not to mention, you had a pretty big arsenal of a dragon. Even though it was like 2400 attack, with Harpie Lady 1 can make it 2900. We have Great Fly now, so it's going to go even further to like 3500, and even so forth and so forth. And the best thing about this card is it's only during your end phases it detaches its material, and it gets its material from its effects. So if you play cards like, I don't know, XC Reborn, this thing can go crazy. The overlay normal spell, which I think attaches a card, a copy of itself to a monster you can, an exceed monster you control. So yeah, it's a lot of things, or even um, just run multiple copies of this and hope for the best. Because the thing is really powerful if you can get it off and get it going. Alright, so let's continue the rest of the era of the world. We're going to start off with Harpie Dancer and Harpie's Phoenix Formation. So these both cards came to us via Joey's World. Harpie's Phoenix Formation got the biggest nerf down I've ever seen in any card since Card of Sanctity, which was going to be one of the most broken draw cards in the game. But in Harpie's Phoenix Formation was going to be an exclusive Raigeki that did burn damage. The thing is, they had to nerf um, a lot of what Harpie's Phoenix Formation did, because you need at least 3 or more Harpies to even activate this card. You can't still summon from your main or extra deck, so that means that leaves you with your hand or graveyard. It destroyed all monsters your opponent controlled up to the number combined total of Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady sisters you had on the field, and then inflicted damage to your opponent up equal to the original attack of one of the monsters on the field with the highest attack, and if it was 2, you did a draw. Yeah, if you got all that, more power to you. A lot of people were using this card. A lot of people were using it as just a gimmick. Because we didn't have Raigeki, we had to rely on Dark Hole. And, yeah, I was even still questioning myself at that point. Because it's Harpie's Phoenix Formation, which is supposed to be like one of Harpie's most broken spells. And because of Hysteric Sign, you could search for it. But it, unfortunately, just didn't pan out like people wanted it to, and the biggest nerf was the amount of damage it did in terms of burn. Which honestly, I think it'd probably be banned if it was still worded like the anime counterpart. And Harpie Dancer was actually a V-Jump promo that got ported as an OCG import. She has the ability to return a wind monster you control back to hand to give you an additional normal summon of a wind monster to turn. So she at least helps me. She has a lot of, destroying back or wind hunting ground. She gets under bottomless. She has a ton of good things going for her and a ton of good factors for her. Especially if you were playing her with Harpie's Phoenix Formation at the time, to really save your Chandler from a lot of things, and then just swamp on the damage and go very defensive. So, yeah, that is Dancer, that is Phoenix, and then we're going to go on to the last 2 cards. Harpie Harpist, which pretty much your easy to summon, easy to search Harpie card. She's pretty much your Harpie searcher. She adds a Harpie. She has a winged beast monster that's level 4 with 15 or less attack from your deck to your hand. It helps in a lot of cases. You can go get Chandler, you can go get Dancer, you can go get Harpie Lady 1, 2, or 3 if you choose to want to see out the process and see them in your hand. She did cut off a lot of the other Harpie cards, so like searching for Harpie Queen, searching for Cyber Harpie, searching for a lot of the bigger pieces to Harpies. In terms of the beat sticks and stuff. But Harpie Harpies isn't bad of a beat stick herself. And then her secondary ability, her other ability is that when she's normal summoned, she allows you to select a face-up winged beast monster and a face-up monster your opponent controls, and return those cards to hand. That way it clears the board if she ever gets a chance to do that. But yeah, that is Harpie Harpist. And then the last card is Harpie's Featherstorm. This card came to us as pretty much the most recent card to come to us. It negates the effects of all effect monster, the activation of all effect monsters that turn. So you can't backseat, effect Veiler and stuff like that. And then you can activate it from your hand if you control the Heartbeat monster. So there's a lot of plays with the Heartbeat cards because it's very offensive and defensive. It protects a lot of the card effects from the hand traps themselves. There's a lot of lingering effects in the graveyard too to stop them. The only downside to this is the last effect. If this card is destroyed by upon this card effect, it's sent to the graveyard. You can add one Harpie Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And a lot of people in the TCG are really hoping we get Feather Duster back because the OCG has it, and Featherstorm is completely naked to that T without it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. It's a very long video. I do apologize. You know, there's a lot of Harpie cards, and I didn't want to skip over any of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this because I enjoyed it myself. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more videos and stuff up. And it's just so awesome to do this video. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And let me know some of your experiences with a lot of the Harpie cards and a lot of the things that are Harpie related. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time, you guys, HPJ signing out. Take care.